My name is Robert Quinn. I'm the Executive Director of the Scholars at Risk Network, which is an international network of universities in over 34 countries dedicated to protecting scholars and promoting academic freedom in the space of the university and society.
So how come you're in Tunisia?
We're here in Tunisia to hold a conference on the university and the nation, exploring the relationship of the university to society, what it owes to society, and what society owes to the nation.
So what's, in your perspective, the relationship between the Tunisian university and the Tunisian nation?
Well, at this time in Tunisia, it really highlights how important the higher education sector is in all democratic societies, but especially during a transition.
Go ahead.
The university space has a special role in society as a pillar of the development of ideas and the training of young people to be able to engage in democratic thought and process and debate and discussion in a way that is constructive and moves society forward.
So you feel that the Tunisian university in this time of transition is at risk?
Well, we know that there were some pressures on the university in the last few years. And this maybe is understandable given that there are transitions going on. But for our organization, the number one rule, the bedrock of our organization is that the space for questioning, the space for thought, the space for teaching, the space for dialogue has to be a safe space. And so when the issues at the campuses became physical issues, that's when we became involved to express our concern and to show our solidarity.
Compared to the other cases that you deal with in the other countries, do you feel the situation or what happened in Manouba University last year is concerning?
Well, I think what happened at Manouba is concerning, again, because we began to see people feel unsafe. I came to Tunisia in June and I met with dozens of faculty and they said they felt nervous about entering and exiting the campus. And that's not a good environment for learning. It's not a good environment for teaching and research, and therefore it's not good for the society, for anyone in society, if the universities don't feel safe. Now that being said, we see issues all over the world, and we understand that. So I wouldn't say Tunisia is any worse than other places, but it also means we still need to be concerned.
How this kind of conference can help the relationship between the Tunisian university and the Tunisian nation?
Well, I think conferences like this help by reminding us of two things. It reminds those of us inside the higher education sector that we have to talk to the people. We have to make them understand and remind them of the importance of the university to society. Because it really does benefit everyone, but not everyone gets to go inside the university and be a student. So we need to remind everyone of that. And we also need to have society reminded that in order to serve its function, the university needs to be protected. It needs to have autonomy and it needs to have academic freedom so it can do its job for society.
Do you feel it's also your role to, so here I'm not recorded, so every time you have to repeat everything.
I understand.
So you feel also it's your role to comfort the Tunisian faculty who felt unsafe and tell them, maybe send them a message that they are not alone in this transition?
Well, all around the world, when the space for ideas is pressured, when intellectuals feel pressure, the most important thing is to not let them be isolated. So the purpose of our network with universities all over the world in over 34 countries is to stand together and say, we're one community of knowledge. And we may not be able to be there with you every day, but we can make sure you're not forgotten, and we can make sure the rest of the world knows what's happening. And that can give them extra courage to continue to serve their mission.
Can you give us one or two stories or anecdotes on situation where the network was really making a difference and helping some of the scholars gain back the confidence that they need in tough times?
Well, I think we're making a difference here in Tunisia in the sense that a year ago there was a lot of pressure and there wasn't a lot of attention from outside. And there was a lot of activity inside the country. But I think having universities and scholars from around the world add their support just makes the scholars in Tunisia know that they are part of a wider community. So I think that has had a positive impact.
Can you tell us a little bit more of your involvement in Tunisia beyond this conference?
Well, this conference is really the third or fourth phase of our work. We've always worked with scholars from all over the world. We work with scholars from over 100 countries, including Tunisian scholars under the prior regimes. So when the current president, Monsef Marzouki, was a professor imprisoned, we wrote letters and campaigned on his behalf. When the current Minister of Higher Education, Ben Salem, was imprisoned, also letters on his behalf and campaigned. In the later years after the transition, we invited scholars from Tunisia to come to America to meet with people, to discuss with scholars there the situation. And when we learned of the situation here, I came and I visited with government officials and with NGOs and political parties and universities to say, what is it that the outside world can help with? Can we share the experience of other countries that have gone through transition, like Eastern Europe, like Latin America? Because Tunisia is not the first to go through this process, and it doesn't have to go through this process alone.
Do you have any future plans, activities that are planned in Tunisia in the near future?
We certainly expect that this conference is not the end of our engagement with Tunisia. And we're listening very closely to our Tunisian partners to try to see, is there an opportunity to work with Tunisian universities, perhaps have Tunisian universities join our network and be partners sharing Tunisia's experience with the rest of the world, or with the countries that are coming along in transition who aren't as far along as Tunisia is. We're looking forward to trying to work with Tunisian scholars to learn from their experience and also to connect them with scholars in other parts of the world who are in our network.